that microphone before you start with your question. And as usual, we will begin with an opening statement from Coach and then go to the student athletes for more questions and have them as long as we can, then back to Coach to wrap it up. So as they get settled, we welcome the Cardinals to the Final Four. Danny?
Well, thank you all for being here. We're very excited to make it here, and pretty surreal to be in your hometown in the Final Four, a chance to win a national championship, and then, but 4 really great teams in this Final Four that have had some incredible moments this season. So, should be entertaining for everybody.
Thanks, Danny. Let's take questions for the Cardinals, please. Here we go, back row, left side.
Talked a lot about different emotions I guess you guys have felt along this tournament run: excited, relieved, hungry. Can you talk a little bit about what the psychology of this week is like and trying to channel all of that emotion into productive use?
Charity, can you start, please?
I'd say for this week, it's just all about being grateful. You never know when your last practice will be. You'll never know when your last game will be. So it's just taking in every moment, every second, and just being grateful for the opportunity to be here.
I think gratitude is great and just enjoying it. Like, there's only 4 teams that get to be here, so we know how hard it is when we get here. So really just coming out with confidence and just really enjoying it, because at the end of the day, win or lose, it's just such an awesome opportunity to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there has been kind of like an underlying pressure throughout the year to like make it to the Final Four in Louisville. But I think we've just kind of learned to ditch that and just, like they said, really enjoy it and take it all in each day.
Thank you. Next question. Here on the right side, we'll start in the second row.
This question for Anna. Can you share with us your most recent moment, since you are local, about your rock star moment here in Louisville?
Rock star moment, like... Okay. I just think it's just really cool. Like, even my parents were talking about it, how just like they've gotten a little TV time as a joke, so people are coming up to them and just saying stuff. But it's just super cool how much the sport has grown in Louisville, and how much people, little girls, are in support of us. So it's just a grateful opportunity every day.
Okay, now we'll go left side, second row.
Yeah, Anna, kind of going off that point, to be in the hometown and to play in front of your fans, you've done it your whole career, but to do it on this stage, how special is this moment for you to kind of have this all come together?
It's crazy. It's definitely a full circle moment. Like, looking back, we really weren't sure if we were going to make it here. Like, obviously, the program really wanted to get here, and the fact that we are, it's just super exciting. And the Yum is such a great environment, so it's a good way to go out for my career, I guess you could say.
Thanks. Right side, second row, third row, sorry.
Okay, and I guess we'll get all these questions out of the way, and then you can do something different. There was no guarantee that, you get back here. You were not in the top 4 in the preseason, and you had a decision to make, which I don't take it was a real hard one. But how much trepidation do you have at all about doing this? And these stories don't always work out where you get there when it's in your hometown. Have you thought about it all, just how rare that is?
Yeah, obviously, like, with it being in Louisville, when I first decided to take my 5th year, I knew I wanted to take it for sure. Just, I couldn't miss up on the opportunity. I was just imagining myself watching it and not being there, and I was like, there's no way. So just to be, and it all worked out just to be here, and that was one of our goals early on in the year, and we didn't really know if we were going to get there, but we worked hard, and we've battled through a lot this year. So just for it to all kind of work out and to be here, I'm just really grateful.
Okay, next question is left side, second row.
For any one of you guys, obviously there's an inherent pressure that comes with competing in the Final Four, but how much pressure was taken off of you guys just knowing that you were able to get to this point and get to be able to compete for it in your home, in the place where you play?
That's a great question. I would say it started probably after the UNI game. It's just that game gave us a whole lot of confidence. Like, we knew we could come back from being behind and fight and then come back and win the game. So I think that game really just kind of flipped a switch in all of our minds. And, it's just only up from here. Like, we just switched a whole different gear, and we're just a more powerful, dynamic, and just super confident team now.
Yeah, I guess you could say there is a little relief, like that we finally made it. Like we're not done yet, but we did make it here. So it is a good way to kind of get the pressure off in that regard. And now it's just like it's time to just play. Like we've done all the work up to this point, and just to be here, that was one of our things. And now we got a few more things to take care of. So.
Yeah, I think last week was obviously like a tougher week playing Purdue. We haven't played them yet this year, and then a team that we've gone 1-1 with this year. So I definitely agree. There was like kind of like a relief and just like some pressure taken off after last week, but we do know there's just so much more work to do. So we're excited.
Okay, back row, right side.
For Charity and Kara, when you guys, they've known about the Final Four being here for maybe 5 years or so, did they use that at all in the recruiting? Did you hear that? And I guess for both of you, did you talk a whole lot about it preseason, or when did it kind of maybe come to the fore that like you really started focusing on, hey, this is the year that it's here?
Yeah, I actually remember when I was being recruited junior year and the coaches brought it up, they're like, yeah, actually your senior year, well, the Final Four will be in Louisville. And at the time, like, it was like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like we didn't really expect to make it. So this year has just been like, just very surreal and really exciting to know that this is actually a reality, that we're here. And I just never would have thought that a few years ago, so it's pretty cool.
I was late. I didn't figure out until last year, the end of last year. Because I was a transfer and I just wasn't really like focusing on like going far in the tournament wasn't really our main goal. Like we just, after my first year, we kind of just, I don't know, we just kind of went downhill. But I was just kind of focusing on just being a better athlete and just getting better. So I never was like asking, where's the Final Four going to be, you know? But once I transferred to Louisville, then, you know, all that came to my mind. Like I wanted to know everything, where it was, when it was going to be, like hoping we were going to be in it. So yeah, last year.
Stay on the right side here.
You guys play Pitt 2 or 3 times every year. Now you're seeing them here in the Final Four. How do you characterize the rivalry with them and the matches as they unfold?
We have such a great respect for Pitt. They make us better, and we hopefully make them better because we're pushing each other each year in the conference. So it's such a good rivalry. Everyone claims it might be one of the biggest ones, and they're just a great team to play. So we're really excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's always fun playing against them. I mean, we're both like, not like aggressive, but I mean, like we do like a lot of talking, but in a good way. At the end of the day, you know, like we both have respect for each other. Like I can never hate on anyone on another team who's just an incredible athlete. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a great game between both of us, and it's just going to be a battle, and I can't wait.
Okay, let's go to the left side, third row.
So even though this is your home court, it does look a little bit different. Did it feel different stepping out on practice today with the fans kind of watching you practice?
Yeah, kind of. I think obviously like the actual court is different, so we were obviously getting used to that, and I think it was cool to have an open practice today just to kind of get like a good feel of how it's going to feel tomorrow, just having a few people there and yeah, just kind of getting used to it, but yeah.
Okay, back to the right side on the aisle.
Hey guys, Coach Fisher for Pitt was talking about the 2 things that stand out to him about the matches you guys have played. Taking big swings, big rips is what he wanted to call it, and 2, each side has probably thought they were going to win a match, and then it swung the other way. Just what have those meetings taught you guys about going up against them and what it takes, like the margin for error being so thin every time?
I'd say that you just can't give them anything easy because they're a great defensive team. They cover the heck out of their hitters. So, you know, we can't go in tipping. We have to go in swinging every ball and just be super aggressive.
Yeah, I think whether we're winning or losing, either team, like we're both learning so much about the opponent. And just after every time we play them, it's like we always find things that we can work on and improve the next time we meet up.
Okay, next question, right side on the end.
Every team has an identity, and your opponents look at you a certain way. How do you guys see the identity of this Louisville team and program?
I think one thing that I have really taken pride in over the last 5 years is just how great our team culture is. We get along so well, and the coaching staff are just great people, and we really care about each other, and I feel like that translates to how we do on the court. And if you don't have that chemistry or that bond on the court, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think that's been our identity a lot over the last few years, and just how much we care for each other, not as players, but also people.
Okay, stay on the right side.
Anna, this question is probably going to be continued to be asked until there is a breakthrough. But 2 years ago on this stage, you said that your coach is a badass, and you said you'd say that again. How much does it mean to you that this badass coach has a chance to be the first woman to be the coach of a champion?
She is badass. I'll say it again. But yeah, just to have a female coach have a chance. She's just been great, and where she's taken the program over the last few years, it's just been incredible. So to have that opportunity, I know that was a big thing just for her being a mother and a coach, and really just taking this team far. So I'm really excited.
Next question on the left side, third row.
U of L has been to the Final Four a couple times in the last few years. What do you guys think you have to do this year to kind of get over that hump?
Charity?
I don't know. Just win. Shoot. I don't know.
I think just really like trusting our training and our scout too. Like we worked so hard to be in this moment, and obviously the past few years not reaching the ultimate goal of winning the national championship. We haven't reached that yet, but I think just really trusting like how the coaches are training us and just continue to push each other each day.
I think it helps a lot with just being there before too, with a lot of the experience. I think that's something like these moments are pretty big moments, and just to kind of have how that feels. It feels really intense at first, the nerves may be there, and I think we've had a few people who've been there on the team, which is really going to help us, and same with everyone else. There's been a lot of players who've been there before, but just to kind of have that, I think that's going to help us a little bit more.
Okay, two more for the student athletes, one right here, and then we'll go over in the left corner. So right side first.
For any of you, you've played 4 matches against the other teams here, and your hitting percentage has improved from 091 to 133 to 203 to 289 in those 4 matches. Is that indicative of improvement or change in approach? Anything that you can pinpoint?
I'd definitely say improving like our ball handling. That's something we really focus on in practice, is that, you know, that first contact is very important. You obviously can't run an offense without having a great first contact. So just really cleaning up our passing, I can say, has really helped that, because it given our setters just the free range to, you know, set whoever they want to. And once our offense is like that, there's really no stopping us.
Yeah, I definitely think we've improved a lot in that regard, but I also just think over the last few weeks our team has gotten way more comfortable and confident and just going after it, and that could help a hitting percentage a little bit more. And we talked a lot about how we peaked a little bit later than we had thought. Like, we had worked really hard all year, and I think we peaked at a really good time, and we're continuing to just get better each week. Even in the tournament, we've gotten better. So I think that'll help, and that just shows how we've done the past few weeks.
Okay, left side, far end.
Yeah, for any of you, with Danny trying to vie to be the first female head coach in D1 volleyball to win a national title, what is your favorite thing about playing for her?
Kara, will you start, please?
Yeah. I would just say like the balance of like goofy and serious. Like, we obviously know like when we're in the gym, like Danny's like, okay, like we're getting to work, like focus through the entire practice or entire game, whatever it is, but also like she just makes it so much fun, and I think we can just have so much fun, but also just execute what we're trying to execute each day.
There's a lot of things, obviously. It's hard to like come up with one, but just like being a student athlete can be hard, and she just cares about you as a person, and just like random stuff. Like, over the past 5 years, we've done like, she'll surprise us with like going to do something fun, like getting our nails done, or we're gonna like go do this and go do a team bonding activity. Like, she just kind of like has a balance of like, if we work hard, it's gonna pay off, and we'll get some time to enjoy some things that we're not used to. So just the balance between that has really made it special, and it's one of my favorite things.
I would say just how Danny is just like she's always a woman of her word, and she's never like fake, if that makes sense. Because I remember like how she was when I was on the phone with her, when I was in the portal, and everything she said, like she stood on that. Like, what she said on the phone is like what she did when I like am in her program right now. So she's just an amazing coach overall, and like she just doesn't lie about anything.
All right, we're going to now let the Cardinals go if you guys want to, or if you just want to stay, that's cool too. And take questions for Danny here. All right, we're going to start on the right side in the aisle here.
Hey, Danny, when it comes to you and Pitt, it almost feels like you two rose at a very similar time. Just what has that been like from your position to kind of rise in conjunction with one another and be directly competing against each other while doing it?
I mean, I feel like I've been asked this question a lot in the past 3 years because we've done similar things, and every year it comes up. So just saying that it's just very appreciative that we have each other, because I'm not sure one of us could have done it without the other. And just the rise of the ACC has also really helped and allowed us to get bigger and more physical athletes. But the one thing, thinking about our rivalry that I find interesting, and I don't think people think about, is like when we started the rise, both of Pitt and us had to have a little extra something. Neither one of us had top 10 recruits. We needed that extra edge. And I think it's rare that both of us have been able to keep that while also getting top recruits. And so I think that's what's made our programs really special, is now we're getting top recruits, but we're also playing with that same edge and I would say swag that we were before.
Left side, second row.
Danny, obviously emotion came out for you in the last match. We saw you celebrating with the team. Obviously, you have your players out here talking about their connection with you. I guess just talk about how special this particular group is this year and how you guys have all connected together and how important that has been on and also off the court.
Yeah, I think this team really took a little work. Whenever you have new pieces, like we brought in Charity last year, Sophia this year, we have freshmen playing big roles. So it wasn't just so seamless. And then, so when you accomplish something great, you know that hard work really paid off. And I think this team worked together so well and had to be selfless for the entire year for it to work and for us to be here. And that's what made it really special. But on top of that, just the talk of Louisville hosting the Final Four and them believing in it, and whether at the time they thought it was a big deal or not, they've been carrying that with them for 4 years. And it was a special moment that we made it. And I know how hard it is to make a Final Four. They do too. And it's no guarantee whether they're hosting or not. A lot of things have to go right. You have to have a little luck. You have to play great in the right moments. So just that it came together and we were able to be back here hosting, just a really big deal and something very few, if any, coaches and players ever get to experience.
Left side, back row.
Danny, what do you remember as a player get into an experience, a Final Four like you did in Omaha?
It's funny, as a player, I don't really remember much. It's just like you're in La La Land. But I just remember really feeling like the crowd helped us so much in Omaha, and that we were able to feed off that. And I remember more about the Final Four there that I wasn't a part of, when Nebraska lost to Penn State, and I was like calling radio or something, and that was crazy with the crowd. But I just remember it's like the hoopla, it's a little bit extra, and I think that is good because you really realize just how many people are behind you. And I think that's what our players are probably feeling like with their families and friends and people and reaching out and giving them advice, telling them they're going to be here. So the Final Four is already a big deal, but it just adds a little bit of extra fun and excitement when there's so many people that have access to see it.
Okay, right side, second row.
Olivia Babcock has 45 kills in the 2 matches you've played. Is there anything that you can do to limit her impact on a match?
I think it's tough. She's going to get her kills. She's a great player. She's extremely physical, so we'll do our best with the game plan, but you can do everything perfectly against Babcock, and she's still going to kill the ball. So we just have to weather that storm and hope offensively that we can match some of that intensity. But I think your plan cannot be to slow her down. You got to find other ways to win.
Oh, left side.
Danny, there's a native Nebraskan on every roster. You have 2 of them on yours. I mean, when you, as one yourself, when you hear that, what does that make you think? And what is about the state, not the school, the state, that makes volleyball so special there?
I just think the the impact the Nebraska program has on the youth and the culture of volleyball in the state just makes people want to be a part of it. And I think players start playing at a young age and they take a lot of pride in how they're playing. And on top of that, the club coaches and high school coaches in the state of Nebraska are excellent. And so the players are improving and getting better at a faster rate than a lot of states because of that, and a lot of it's because of the coaching. But I didn't know that until I saw it. I think probably a tweet that there's a native Nebraskan on every team, and I wonder if that's ever been done before. But it's pretty cool, and I like to shout out Kentucky too a lot now that I'm here and how good the volleyball is in the state of Kentucky. So I think it's pretty unique that two states are so well represented.
Back to the right side here on the aisle, Tyler.
I think you kind of stole my thunder with that question, a little, the last part of that answer. But speaking to it, you have two Louisville natives on your roster. Kentucky continues to put out top programs and top recruits. What do you want the nation to see about Louisville as a volleyball community and Kentucky's place in this sport when you have this kind of an opportunity?
Well, I think just hosting the Final Four and seeing the crowd and not just people that are in the stands, but is there media here? That's one thing that's really important. Are there going to be people out and about enjoying the event throughout the day? Are they? I just want people in the country to know that volleyball is a big deal in this state, and it'll continue to be a big deal. And that's how you grow a program, and that's how you sustain it, is when people care. And I think the chance for the Final Four to be here is a chance for us all to show that we care about the sport and want to be a big part of growing it.
Two questions still on the right, and then we're coming back to the left, back row.
Danny, first of all, how many requests for tickets from friends, family, anybody have you gotten this week? And just can you speak to how difficult it is for some people to get? I mean, this is a big event, and it's here.
I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, your crowd's going to be incredible." I'm like, "Well, you forget it was sold out." Months ago. It was sold out, I think, in a day or 2 days. I don't know what the actual stats were. So it's not like Louisville fans just jumped on Ticketmaster after we won and were able to get a great seat. Now, hopefully they're found ways to get in the game and through connections. But yeah, I've had a lot of requests, and I have no doubt that it's going to be packed. And I'm hoping the diehard Louisville fans found their way in and didn't have to pay too much for a good seat.
Okay, right side, second row.
Danny, what would you cite as the most recent example of that extra edge that you referred to earlier?
I would say there's maybe a couple, like the win over UNI just as a whole, and when a team is just playing unbelievable, UNI really was playing unbelievably well, and we couldn't do anything to slow them down, and we pride ourselves in being a great defensive team, and we couldn't do anything. The look in our team's eyes was different, and I felt like Anna DeBeer, she took over some huddles and in the locker room and really willed us to win. And if you don't have a player like that feels confident and is able to show that emotion, maybe you don't win that game. And then, we have Sophia is new to our team, and against Stanford, she played amazing, and you saw some of that edge come out. And I think a part of that hopefully is what she's learned while she's here, and learned she can be herself and show some of that, and that she's going to need to do that to beat the best teams in the country.
Left side, second row, Dusty.
Danny, obviously your connection with Anna is special, and even just what we saw up there too, the talk between the two of you guys, it goes beyond the court. To have her come back and have the impact on this team that she has, how special was that for you to have her come back to this team, and what kind of role across the board has she played this year to get you guys to this point?
And we wouldn't have let her leave, so it was like her only option to come back. But I think with the COVID year and her injury, it really was a no-brainer, and then you throw the icing on the cake that the Final Four's here, and we're returning a great team. I think it wasn't much of a conversation for her to come back. I think without her, we wouldn't be sitting here, obviously, and just the role she's played this year is much more of a leadership role and a maturity role, and she's really helped the rest of the team understand that this is a big deal, but also help prepare them for what to expect. And I think it gives everybody a little more confidence when you have somebody like her who's been through it and been through a lot of different things in her career, and she's been through these Final Fours. So I just feel like the team is much more prepared than we have been in the past.
Front row here, right side. Couple more.
Coach, whenever you're scouting for Pitt, you've played them multiple times. You're very familiar with them. How do you not over scout for this game since you already know what they're going to do, but some things might change?
Yeah, that's what we do. We try not to over scout. It's like, again, I got asked about Babcock. We know what she's going to do. That's not a matter of knowing. It's like if you can stop it. And maybe we'll get a little break and she'll hit 1 or 2 balls out of bounds. I don't know. That's like what. But I think it's interesting the way we both played in the 2 games were a little bit different. And some of the game plans you can tell were different in the first 2 games. And we ended up losing both. So it's like, well, we got to change something and really decide what we're going to do. But I think it's more focusing on our side of the net going into Thursday than focusing on what Pitt's doing. And the team that executes the best is going to win.
Yeah. Stay on the front row here, right side.
Coach, your team and Pitt are obviously 2 of the better serving teams in the country. How important will service be tomorrow night?
Probably one of the most important things.
All right. Last question over on the left side.
Danny, I know this is not your favorite thing to talk about, but there still hasn't been a female head coach to win a national championship in D1 women's volleyball. What do you think needs to happen for that to change and for there to be female coaches every year at the Final Four?
I mean, we're getting closer, right? So I was just told there's like a 62% chance because if us and Penn State win, that goes up to 100. So we're getting there, that there's more. And I think there's more female coaches that are staying in the game longer and more female coaches that are getting the opportunity to take over these storied programs. And we're not having to start from, the bottom or start at a program, a mid-major, and then take a mid-major up and then get a chance at a Power 5. I think that will help as just more opportunities. But hopefully it starts this week. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I can do or Katie can do at Penn State. It's more just being consistent and really encouraging other women to stay in the sport and to go for it and showing them that they can do it too.
Good deal. Danny,
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck.